Welcome to another video from Between CAD Classes. Today we are in Autodesk Fusion 360 and I'm going to demonstrate how to create a simple part two ways. One using Extrusions and two using a Revolve. Here you can see the simple part that we're going to create, and if we're using the Extrude tool, I'm going to have three cylindrical extrusions. I'll start with the bottom extrusion. Let's take a closer look at the dimensions for this one. We can see that the bottom feature has a diameter of 180 and an extrusion depth of 25. So we'll jump into Fusion here and I'll start a new sketch on the horizontal XZ plane. Then I will start my circle command, snap to the origin point there. Then I will put in that diameter of 180. I'll go ahead and finish my sketch. Then extrude it. Since it's the only profile, it will pick it automatically, and we said that it had a height of 25, so I'll go ahead and add that in. Next I want to add my second extrusion. So looking at the detailed drawing once again, we can see that this shape has a diameter of 48, and if we do a little bit of math, we've got an overall height of 60 less the 25 and 16 millimeters. That will leave 19 millimeters for this extrusion. Back in Fusion 360 then, I'll go ahead and sketch on the top surface of this cylinder. Then I will start another circle and once again snap to the origin point. Then I will put in that diameter of 48 and enter. Finish my sketch. Then extrude. Now there's two possible profiles that can be extruded, so I'll select the inner one, and then once again we will put in that calculated value of 19 millimeters. By the way, another way that I could have approached that is when I extrude, I could go ahead and put in my formula here. I can type in the 60 minus 16 minus 25, and that will get me the 19 millimeters as well. Finally, looking at the detailed drawing, that last extrusion has a diameter of 68 and a height of 16. So I'll go ahead and sketch on that top cylindrical surface once again, draw another circle. Snapping to that origin point once more, we'll put in a diameter of 68 and enter. Finish the sketch and extrude. Once again, there's a couple of profiles now, so I'm going to actually select both of them, the outer ring and the inner ring. Then I will put in that height of 60. Then OK. And that completes my simple part by using three extrusions. Let's take a look at the same part, but this time we will use the Revolve command. I'll jump into a new blank drawing here. And since I'm going to revolve it, I want to approach this a little differently. Looking at the detailed drawing here, what I want to do is basically create half the shape and revolve it around the center line. You can see here highlighted in green the shape that I actually want to draw. I'm going to somewhat draw this arbitrarily first and come back and add my dimensions. The one dimension I'm going to stick to right now though is the height of 60. Back in Fusion then, I'm going to start my sketch, and this time I want to be on one of the vertical planes, so I'll select the XY plane here to sketch. And I'm going to start by drawing that center line 60 millimeters up. So I'll draw a line from the origin point, make sure I snap to it, and then I'll go up 60 from there. Then I will go ahead and continue drawing the lines. Now you can of course type in values, but I want to be able to take advantage of some diameter dimensions. So once again, I'm just going to kind of arbitrarily draw this shape. I'm going to be careful not to accidentally create any equal constraints or anything like that while I'm drawing. Of course I want the perpendicular constraints. And then I'll snap back to the original point here. Next, I will dimension some heights. So looking at the detailed drawing again, the bottom feature had a height of 25, and the top feature had a height of 16. So I will go ahead and, here in Fusion, add those dimensions in. So the bottom feature was 25 millimeters thick, and the top feature 16. You'll remember that we calculated the 19 value. I could add in the dimension here to show that it's 19, but this would over-constrain my drawing. I can choose to do a driven dimension, in which case it reports it, it puts it in parentheses which means that this is not a dimension that I can modify. I can modify any of these other dimensions, but I cannot modify a driven dimension. It is strictly for reporting. Now let's work on the diameters. So as we look at the detailed drawing, we have 3 different diameters. The very top shape is 68, the centerpiece is 48, and the bottom is 180. Back in Fusion then, if I create a linear dimension from the center line of the shape to the outer edge here, as I go to place this, you can see it's just giving me a normal linear dimension. I can go ahead and do the math and put in the radius value, but instead I'm going to right click my mouse and choose diameter dimension. Now it will use that first line that I clicked on as the center, and I can place this as a diameter dimension. Be aware that if I do this, that the first click needs to be the center line. If I were to choose the other line first and switch to diameter dimension, it thinks that it is the center line. So once again, when dimensioning, pick the center line first, then the outer shape, right click and choose diameter dimension, place it, and then enter in the value. In this case it was 48. Then one last time, center line, outer shape, right click diameter dimension, place it, enter in my new value of 180. Then I can finish my sketch. Now I can choose the Revolve command. There's only one profile, so it picks it automatically. Right now it wants me to select my axis. So I can really select any edge as my axis and it'll rotate around that edge. I'm going to want this vertical center line that I created earlier to be the axis. Then I can decide if I want it to be just a partial revolve or if I want it to do a full 360. So I'll go ahead and choose the full 360 and click OK. And there you can see once again the same part created, just in a completely different method. Let's compare each of these methods. Using the Revolve command, I have one sketch and one feature. So if I want to modify anything here, I can come back in, for example, right click and edit the sketch to change any of the dimensions. If I take a look at the extruded model, it has 3 sketches and 3 features. This might allow some more flexibility for going back and modifying things. For example, I can just edit the specific sketch if I want to make a change, or I can edit the feature itself if I want to change the thickness of the extrusion. Or if I want to completely get rid of one of these features, I can right click on them and delete them. Something I could not do in the Revolve model. I would actually need to go back in and edit the sketch and modify the geometry. So either method can be used to create the part. I encourage you to try both methods and see what you like best. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe, and keep watching as I will continue to post more Autodesk Fusion 360 tutorials. Thanks for watching.